Hey guys, today we've got the video for the triple strand seed bead necklace with a sliding knot. It just has the really delicate, beautiful seed beads on there, and then it has the sliding knot on the back so you can wear it high like a choker or wear it down a bit lower. We also have another video for the matching triple strand bracelet, so you can check out our other videos for that. So to start with, we need 3 lengths of 35 inches. This is the 0.6mm cotton twine that I'm using. So I just start out by measuring my lengths out. So this is 1 length of 35 inches. So it takes a really long time to put these seed beads on, so I have done 2 of them already in advance. So we don't need to bead the whole length of the thread, but because the necklace has 3 different beaded lengths, because it's layered, so it sits nicely on your chest with the 3 different layers, so you need to bead a 12-inch length, a 13.5-inch length and a 15-inch length. So I'm just going to go ahead now and pop these seed beads on to this last one here, and I've just popped a beading clip on there so that my beads don't fall off the back end. And then I just get to work putting all these seed beads on. Keep checking the length of your beaded area. So this one here is my 12-inch length of beads. When you get to the desired length, you can take your little beading clip off. So just double checking all your lengths. So you should have one that's 12-inch, one that's 13.5 inches, and one that's 15 inches. So each one is just 1.5 inches bigger than the one before it. Okay, so when you're at this point, we just need to make sure that all the beads are slid to the middle of the twine. So just grabbing the 2 ends of the twine, just going to move all those beads so that they are right at the middle. So you need to just get the beads even there and just gently lay them down so you can see they're in the middle. And then just doing the same with each layer. So grabbing those end pieces, holding them together, and just working the beads until they're in the middle. And just doing the same there on the last layer. Now we can lay that down as well, and just being careful with your strands that you don't move any of the seed beads now, because you have them laid out in a way that they are in the middle. So we're just trying to lay the necklace out now in a way that the design is going to sit. So just trying to collect up your 3 ends on one side, and then we're going to be putting our knots on. So just being gentle as you work, just so that you don't move those seed beads. We can put that beading clip on one end just so that your seed beads don't go anywhere. Then just gently collecting your ends up. So I'm just being really careful there not to move any of my seed beads. But the ends, your length should be exactly the same, it's just the beaded lengths that are different. So if you can just collect your lengths there so they all are together, then just go down to where your seed beads are. If all your measurements are good, it should be fine. So then we just tie a knot right there next to your seed beads. Just not too tight, not too close, so maybe about 5 mil away from the end of the seed beads. And then just pulling on each thread to make sure that the knot is pulled nice and tight with each one. Then we can switch to the other end. So I'm just working with those beads a little, making sure they haven't moved or there's no gaps in between. So obviously on this end you've got different lengths of beaded strands there, so you want to just hold them all in a way that you can hold these strands together. Then you're going to tie a knot at the end of your seed beads there. So you should be able to see that they are sort of going to be hanging at different lengths, different layers there, so just holding them together. And tying your knot, again not too tight, about 5 mil away from the end of the seed beads, just so they are going to sit down nicely and not be held up tight. And then just pulling each twine to make sure it's pulled nice and tight. So at this stage you should have 3 strands that are tied at 3 different levels. So now we can start to get organized for our sliding knot. So on each end here, I am just going to cut 2 of the threads off. We only need 1 thread left now for our sliding knot. So I just cut 2 of the threads off there and then just gently singe them with a lighter. Just being really careful not to singe anything else around it. You don't want to melt that thread that you've got left or anything. And doing the same on the other end. So you've got 3 threads there, just separate 2, cut them off, and again just being really careful that you don't singe any more than what you're trying to singe. So you should have your necklace part with 1 thread coming out each end. Now we're just going to lay it down how the necklace will sit, and I like to do my sliding knots on the left hand side, so we just overlay the top and the bottom piece on the left hand side so that we can tie our knot over there. So cutting off about 15 inches of the 0.8 millimeter cotton twine. If you don't have 0.8, that's fine, just use your 0.6. I just prefer the 0.8 just because it's a little bit bigger for the sliding knots. And then we just lay it underneath both of the pieces from the necklace. And then to start with, it's a little bit tricky while it's not held together, but I will show you better on the next thread. Okay, so for the first one, we put the left hand side one over the top, and then the right hand one goes under and up the hole. Okay, and then pull it nice and tight. So now it's held together a bit tighter, it'll be easier for me to show you. So we need to alternate each stitch. So because we started with the left one, this next one is now going to be the right one. So this is the right hand side one, goes over the top, and the left one goes underneath and up the hole on the other side. And then just pulling that nice and tight. Alternating, so this time we're doing the left one first, the right one goes underneath and up the hole on the opposite side. Okay, and this one's the right. So starting with the right hand side over the top, and left one goes underneath and up the hole. So just pulling it tight on each stitch, and you should end up with a nice flat knot. So I normally do about 10 stitches, so 10 of these, but you just need to alternate each stitch. So just alternate them until you've done about 10 stitches. You could do a couple extra or a couple less and it would still be okay. I just like the size of about a 10 stitch knot. So try and keep track of what stitch you're doing so that the next one you can alternate. And if you do happen to forget and your knot gets a bit twisted, then you can just undo those couple of stitches and redo them with the right side. So when you're happy with the size of your knot, then we just cut those two little tails that are coming off that sliding knot there we've just made. So just cutting them down and singeing them gently with the lighter. So again, just making sure you don't do too much or melt the knot or anything. We still need it to slide. We just want that the end of that little tail there to be finished and secure. Alright, so now you should have a sliding knot. So you can just check it now, make sure it is sliding. They can be a little tight at the start, but that should loosen up a little bit as you wear it. So they do need to have a little bit of length on them, just so they are big enough to go over your head and then do up tighter again. So I just try and pull them out, holding the left hand side so that I can get an accurate gauge of how long they are. So just cutting them the same length, and then I like to just pop a bead on there. It gives them some weight and they will sit down at the back of your neck. So I'm just going to pop a little hematite bead on this one today. Sometimes I just pop seed beads or whatever I've got on hand. Just sort of finishes it off if it's got something on there. And the other one as well. So just popping the bead on and then tying a little knot so that the bead can't fall off. And you can cut any little tail off just to make it look nice and tidy and finished. So there's your triple strand seed bead necklace with an adjustable sliding knot. Don't forget to check out our video for the matching bracelet.